Welcome. Today we're going to unpack Cal Newport's really influential book, Deep Work. Now, if you've ever gotten to the end of a long day, looked back, and felt like you were just spinning your wheels, constantly busy but not really productive, then the ideas we're about to explore might just be a game changer for you.
So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of the matter. Are you busy or are you productive? Because in our world of constant emails, pings, and notifications, it is way too easy to confuse the two. And this right here is the central problem that Cal Newport is trying to solve.
So, Newport's big idea starts with what he calls the deep work hypothesis. You can think of this as the foundation for the entire book, and honestly, it's a super powerful way to think about what's truly valuable in today's economy.
But what is deep work really? Well, according to the book, it's not just about working hard. It's about getting into this state of pure, laser-focused concentration, with zero distractions while you're tackling something that really pushes your brain. You know, think of a programmer writing a really complex piece of code, or a writer crafting a crucial chapter. That's deep work.
Okay, and here is the absolute kicker. Newport argues that this skill, the ability to actually go deep, is becoming incredibly rare. Almost nobody can do it anymore. But at the exact same time, as things like AI take over all the simple routine tasks, the demand for this kind of high-level, creative, focused work is just exploding. This creates a huge gap and a massive opportunity for anyone who can master it.
So if deep work is basically the superpower of the 21st century economy, why is it so darn hard to do? Well, the answer lies in the epidemic of its evil twin, shallow work.
You can see the difference pretty clearly here. Deep work is tough, it creates something new and important, and you absolutely need to be distraction-free. Shallow work, on the other hand, well, that's all the other stuff. The logistical, easy things that clog up our days. Answering emails, sitting in endless status meetings, all that busy work. It doesn't create much value, and we usually do it while we're distracted anyway.
So how did we get here? Why has this shallow stuff completely taken over? Newport points to a few key reasons. First off, there's the principle of least resistance. Our brains are just wired to prefer the easy task over the hard one. Then you've got busyness as a proxy for productivity, where we show how valuable we are by looking frantically busy. And finally, our whole modern work culture, with open offices and instant messaging, feels like it was designed for constant interruption.
And all this constant switching between shallow tasks, it comes with a hidden cost, a very real cognitive price. Which brings us to a fascinating concept called attention residue.
Let's just get one thing straight. Multitasking is a myth. It's not real. Our brains literally cannot focus on two demanding things at once. What we call multitasking is actually just switching from one task to another really, really fast. And doing that comes at a high price.
And that price is called attention residue. So imagine you're writing an important report and you switch over to check a quick email. Your brain doesn't make a clean break. A little piece of your attention, a residue, is left behind, still thinking about that report. This means you're not giving your full focus to the email, and when you go back to the report, you're not fully there either. Your performance on everything suffers. And this isn't just a theory. There's science to back it up. In one study, they had people reviewing resumes, but some of them were interrupted halfway through and told to work on a puzzle. The result? The group that got interrupted did way worse on the puzzle. Why? Because part of their brain was still stuck on the resumes. That's attention residue in action.
Okay, so we've seen the problem and we've seen the science behind it. It's a bit bleak, right? But here's the good news. We can fix it. Newport gives us a really practical framework for building our own deep work practice, and it's all about having rules and rituals.
He boils it down to these 4 big rules. First, you have to intentionally schedule time to actually work deeply. Second, you need to embrace boredom. Retrain your brain to not need constant stimulation. Third, be absolutely ruthless about how you use social media. And fourth, you have to actively drain the shallows. That means minimizing and just getting rid of as many low-value tasks as possible.
Now for that first rule, work deeply, you're going to need a system. This table shows 4 different ways you could approach it. The monastic approach is for people who can pretty much just isolate themselves. Bimodal is where you split your time, say a few days for deep work, a few for shallow. Rhythmic is about building a daily habit, like working deep for 90 minutes every single morning. And journalistic is for people with chaotic schedules, who learn to grab deep work moments whenever they pop up. But here's the part that might surprise you. Getting good at deep work isn't just about how you schedule your work. It's also about how you schedule your rest. This brings us to a really counterintuitive secret to performing at a high level, what Newport calls systematic idleness.
And let's be super clear, this is not about being lazy. It's about being strategic. Real downtime, where you are completely free from work thoughts, is absolutely essential. It lets your unconscious mind chew on problems and come up with insights. It recharges your limited battery for focused attention. And frankly, it stops you from filling your tired, end-of-day hours with more useless, shallow work.
So, how do you actually do this? A great practical technique is to have a shutdown ritual. At the end of your workday, take a minute, make a plan for tomorrow, close your laptop, and then actually say out loud, "I'm done for the day." No more checking email on your phone, no more replaying that meeting in your head. You are officially offline.
And this quote from the book really just ties it all together beautifully. Less mental clutter means more mental resources available for deep thinking. The whole point of all these rules and rituals is to clear out the noise, to get rid of the clutter so you can free up your most valuable asset, your ability to think deeply.
So, we'll leave you by turning this back to you with one final question. Thinking about your own work week, what is the one shallow activity, just one, that you could cut out starting this week to make a little more room for the work that truly matters?